We need to talk about getting rich, but I want you to forget everything you think you know. We're always told it's this super complex thing, right? That it's some kind of mystical art reserved for the lucky few. But what if that's all just a story? What if that's the biggest lie you've ever been sold? Today, we're going to look at a completely different set of rules, a brutally simple, almost cold-blooded operating system for building wealth.
And this right here, this is the whole game. The idea that getting rich is some unsolvable puzzle is the very cage that's designed to keep you from even trying. But the truth is, it's not rocket science. It's not even calculus. It's just arithmetic. The problem isn't that you're not smart enough. The problem is the rule book you've been forced to play by.
So let's just break this down. On one side, you've got the story they sell you, that wealth is this magical force that just happens to other people. It's comforting, isn't it? Because if it's luck, then it's not your fault. But on the other side, you've got the brutal truth. It's a simple, logical system that doesn't reward the good person. It rewards the effective person. You've been playing checkers while the rich have been playing a completely different game.
Okay, so before we even talk about what to do, we have to talk about how to think. This requires a massive psychological shift. It's about throwing out the moral code that was, frankly, designed to keep you obedient and poor, and adopting a new one built for a single purpose: being effective in the world as it actually is. All right, here's law number 1. Stop following your passion. Seriously, your hobbies, they're for the weekend. Wealth doesn't follow passion, it follows pain. See, money is really just the certificate that says, I solved a problem. The market doesn't pay you to strum a guitar because you love it. It pays you to remove someone else's suffering. Think about it, a heart surgeon makes way more than a fantastic gardener because the pain of a failing heart is infinitely greater than the pain of an overgrown lawn. So the only question you should be asking is, what massive painful problem are you going to solve? Now this slide, this perfectly captures the difference between just working hard and actually getting somewhere. Most of us are taught to be the donkey. Put your head down, work harder than anyone else, carry the load, and just hope you get a carrot at the end of the day. You become part of the machine. The fox, though, the fox doesn't work harder. It works smarter. It doesn't become a cog in the machine, it builds the machine. It understands the power of leverage. And these are the tools of the fox. First, you've got labor. That's using other people's work. Pretty classic. Second, capital. Using other people's money to build things. But the third one is the great equalizer of our time: code and media. This is the magic key. The ability to build something once. A piece of software, a video, an online course that can then work for you 24/7 forever. It's how you finally completely detach your income from the hours you put in. So, you've got the mindset? Great. Now, how do you actually operate? How do you move in the world? Well, this is where all the feel-good advice ends, and the practical, and yeah, often uncomfortable, actions have to begin. Oof, this one is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. Your talent, your skill, your inner genius, it means absolutely nothing if nobody perceives it. In the game of wealth, your appearance, your website, the way you talk, that's not vanity. It's a tool, it's utility. How you signal your value directly, and I mean directly, impacts how much the world is willing to pay you. Let me paint you a picture. Let's imagine consultant A. This guy is a certified genius. He's one of the best in the world at what he does, but he shows up in a wrinkled shirt. He speaks nervously. His website looks like it was made in 1999. He signals that he's cheap and that he needs the job. And then in walks consultant B. Now, he's just average. He's fine, but his website is gorgeous. He speaks with this slow, calm authority. He's hard to get on the phone. He charges 10 times what consultant A does. So who gets the big contract? It's not even a contest. Consultant B gets it every single time. Why? Because he doesn't signal that he's a service for hire. He signals that he is the prize to be won. This leads to a really critical rule, and it's ruthless. Getting rich is very often an act of subtraction, not addition. You have to quarantine yourself from things that breed poverty. That means those friends who do nothing but complain? Gone. Mindless content that just helps you escape reality instead of shaping it? Gone. All those little habits and mental chatter that keep you small? You have to evict them. Your mindset is contagious, so protect it at all costs. This brings us to what some might call an immoral shift. And look, don't get hung up on the word immoral. This isn't about becoming a bad person. It's about being effective. The good person tries to be liked by everyone. They avoid conflict, they put other people's feelings before their own goals. The effective person, on the other hand, doesn't care about being liked. They aim to be respected. They handle conflict head-on. They put the mission first, always. You see, making money is just the first battle. The real war is keeping it, multiplying it, and then using it to buy the only thing that actually matters in the end, your freedom. This is the final phase. This is about becoming an architect and building a fortress. Okay, listen closely because this is one of the most important rules for true freedom. You never, ever buy a luxury item with your own labor. Never. That makes you a slave to that thing. Instead, you follow these steps. 1. Your labor, your work, buys an asset, a stock, a business, something that makes money. 2. That asset generates its own income. And 3. The income from the asset is what buys you the luxury. The asset becomes the slave that works for you. Because let's be real, the second you start to accumulate any real money, the world tries to take it from you. Taxes are knocking at the gate. Inflation is the dragon breathing fire on your savings, and consumer culture is this giant army just trying to pull you back down. So remember, wealth isn't what you earn. It's the fortress you build to protect what you earn. To build that fortress, you have to become obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with the value of your time. Let's just throw out a number, say $500 an hour. Now that's not an ego trip, it's a calculator, it's a filter for making decisions. If you're spending an hour doing a task that you could pay someone else $20 to do, like mowing your lawn or booking your travel, you are actively losing $480. You literally can't afford not to delegate. The world tells you to play fair, right? A fair day's work for a fair day's pay. Well, this philosophy tells you to stop playing fair and start hunting for unfair advantages. It's a concept called asymmetry. A regular job is the worst kind of bet. Your upside is capped, it's your salary, but your downside is you can get fired and lose everything. The wealthy, they look for the opposite. They look for asymmetric bets, like starting a business or creating media. The downside is limited, you might lose some time and money, but the upside? The upside is potentially infinite. So after all of this, what's the grand secret plan? Well, here's the thing. It's shockingly simple. It's even kind of boring. There's no magic button. There's no lottery ticket. There's just this 5-step loop. You learn a skill. You solve a painful problem with it. You charge a lot for that solution. You use that money to buy assets. And then you just repeat. You repeat it until you're free. The only variable in that entire equation is your discipline.
And that brings us to the final, most brutal truth of all. The plan is simple. The how is right there on the screen. The real challenge isn't the information, it's the transformation. To actually execute this plan, you have to become someone else. Someone who doesn't need applause from the crowd. Someone who is totally comfortable being misunderstood. Someone who sees the world not for what it should be, but for what it actually is. So that's it. The victim script is over. The system's been exposed. The excuses are all gone. The blueprints are right here. They're in your hands. The only question left, the only one that matters, is the one you have to answer for yourself. Will you build?